Hi, I'm Cindy from BeDancewear.com, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to sew a pair of booty shorts or dance shorts. It's a very simple sewing technique. You're only going to need to take a few seams, a hem. You'll need a machine for this for sure. Hand stitching will not work. And a little bit of elastic. So one of the first things you'll want to know is make sure your fabric is a 4-way stretch. Make sure that if you stretch this way, that's considered 2 ways, and then this way, that's considered 4. Lycra is the best. You can use cotton Lycra, but you'll really want to take into consideration how much that stretches and how comfortable that is. Now that you have the pattern, it's time to make the shorts. So you're going to go ahead and make sure it's a 4-way stretch or whatever type of fabric that you made the pattern from. You're going to place it out. I usually will just use weights on it, but most people don't feel comfortable with that. If that's the case, feel free to pin it. And you'll want to pin every few inches. If you're just new to sewing, it'll make you feel a lot more comfortable. You'll want to make sure that the back side, this piece of fabric is chopped up a little. Make sure and get that so that there's no divots from the underneath piece. You want to make sure they're all even. And then just pin all the way around. You're going to be amazed how easy this is. And then just go ahead and follow the pattern and cut it out. Now, you want to make sure with stretchy fabric, don't stretch it while you're cutting. You can lift it up a little and lay it down, but don't stretch it because it'll change it and pull up underneath while you're cutting. And just keep cutting. These scissors aren't the greatest, but they'll do the job. Keep cutting it. The thing you want to remember is all these seams, if they're a little choppy, you're okay. They're underneath. Nobody will see. If you don't tell anybody, nobody will know. And then make sure that it stays flat underneath and keep cutting. Gathering up a little. Okay, and keep cutting that. Okay, go to this side. Okay. Oh, forgot that part. I feel comfortable picking it up a little if I'm holding it between my 2 fingers, keeping that secure, but not everybody does. So if you don't, keep it laying flat. Now we're going to move on to the sewing machine. Now comes the sewing part. I've cut the shorts. One of the things you have to remember when you cut shorts, fold it in half. This side is the shiny side and that side is the shiny side because you need a right and left leg. If you cut 2 pieces on the same direction like this and then one more, you're going to end up with 2 of the same legs. So I'm going to use a lighter color thread so you can see it. If you have a stretch stitch on your machine, make sure and use that. If not, I would do a straight stitch and then a zigzag. For faster purposes, I'm going to go ahead and put a straight stitch, and I'm going to put it really, really wide so that way it'll go fast. So I want to take the side that I want people to see and put those sides together. Some people feel more comfortable pinning. I don't. I feel more comfortable just holding it together and sewing. But if you're new at sewing, make sure and pin it together. Okay, so we'll put the right facing sides together. I'm going to line it up. Now the gauges on the side of your machine, those are what you want to use to know that you're going the right distance, because a 1/4 of an inch each direction will make it a different size. So we'll go ahead and hold those together. And, not plugged in properly. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so let's see. We're going to hold that together and sew. Now be careful. You want to make sure that you hold it taut, that it doesn't pinch up, but you also don't want to stretch it out either. And just sew that. So you're going to sew part of the crotch. Now, this gathered up a little, so what I'll do is I'll take it and stretch out that stitch. Make sure it stretches Oh, and I'm okay. It's just a thread got tangled up there. If you stretch it and it snaps, just go over that spot. Don't be intimidated. Don't stop. Just go over it. And I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to get this thread out of the way. That's what's gathering it up. Make sure you keep a consistent seam allowance. But on the ends, you'll probably want to take it and back it up just to make sure it's nice and consistent. Oh, broke a thread. Not a problem. Just rethread it. Things are going to go wrong. Don't worry about it. Remember, this is the inside of the garment. Nobody's going to see it except for you. And you don't have to tell anybody what it looks like inside. They'll just see the outside. Okay. So now you're going to take the crotch of both. Line it up. If you're doing a regular sewing machine and not a serger, open that stitch, the crotch seam up. Make sure and line this up. Put that down. Now, whenever I get to the center of the crotch, if I'm using a straight stitch and not an overlock, because in an overlock you cannot back up, I'll go and back up right in that crotch area. Make sure it's extra secure. Oh, there we go again with the broken thread. There we go. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to flip it around. Now our elastic, we've measured it out and cut it. Then we're going to take it and put it together. So make sure it's not twisted up. Set it in there and go back and forth. Make sure it's nice and strong, because otherwise what you'll get is it'll split apart. You're going to put that in the very back. I always make sure and either mark it with chalk or with a pin. Fold it in half, get that center spot in the front. Pin it here. Or mark it with chalk so that way you make sure it's even. You'll want to stretch the elastic out so it meets the fabric. And then hold on to it. And then sew it into place. Make sure you keep an even stretch. If you need to put a lot of pins to make sure you do that, that's fine. Whatever you got to do to make sure it's even. Some machines you have to take out that pin before you sew over it. Make sure you take that out so you don't break a needle. Sew over that. Now you have to fold it in. Okay, so now you have that folded over. See how we've done that? You can go from this side or the other side, whatever works better. You want to make sure, and if you don't hold it taut enough, you're going to get this wrinkling. So you want to roll it down so it's nice and flat. Put that in there. Catch the elastic. Don't just catch the fabric. Put it in there and stretch it taut. Use this edge of the elastic to keep a guide. Remember, don't pull tight. It'll roll your elastic. And then just go all the way around. I use this thumb to slide it down and keep it taut. Just like that. And just go all the way around. Oh, we can take this pin out now. And keep going. Remember, this guide is what will keep this line straight in the front. If you have a stretch stitch, this is a good time to use it. And just keep going. And then back up over it. Now on the end, on the leg, you can either take it and you can pin all the way around even. I like to just use a guide. You'll want to either use a zigzag here or your stretch stitch. And then I make sure that I have even distance here all the way around. Because if you pull the fabric up too high, then one part of your shorts will be shorter. And just keep that going all the way around. Make sure, and back stitch, you want to stretch it. Make sure it stretches without snapping because you can go over that spot. Then you're going to go over the other one. Keep it the same distance as the other side. Remember, don't make the hem too long because it'll make one side or one part shorter than the rest. Got to keep it even. If you want to make it longer, then you definitely want to make your pattern longer. You'll want to trim the threads when you're done, but voila, there is a pair of booty shorts from the pattern that we made. Thank you for watching our video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure and click here to subscribe because we're going to have some amazing DIY videos coming out. And if you want to get our free complete dance costume DIY guide, click right here or go to bdancewear.com/DIY guide. And lastly, if you have any questions or ideas for future videos, please leave it in the comments below. Thanks again for watching our video, and remember, be original, be colorful, bdancewear.com.